you know what Gorringe is doing. He's throwing the big brick into the water. He's doing really well. He's
smashing it.
He's going so fantastic. There's room for everybody, but that's no different to Caroline Wilson giving it to me at times, or me whacking them back. I mean, media's a contact sport. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Eddie and Jimmy. We're in our new digs today. Jimmy, what do you think of the palatial studio here?
I love Ed Quarters. It's magnificent. And people can then stop emailing us where they thought for a couple of years that we had the green screen, the CGI when we were at the MCG.
In the box there.
We just better, just to make sure, like, everything in here is real, so you don't need to send the email in. Yeah. Everything is legit.
Well, we're going to get a green screen, and we want to actually put some vision through that screen as well as we get going and see how many rules we break before the AFL ring us up and tell us we can't promote the game or something like that. Somebody in there will have a pad ready to pounce on us, I'm sure. Get a please explain. How are you, mate? It was a big weekend of football in a truncated form.
Yeah, it was fantastic, and there's some trends that have already started to show. Of course, we've got some new rules in place. Some teams that we expected to flex their muscles did early, and as we do in football, we've gone really early with snap judgments.
We haven't even had a round yet, and people are sacking coaches, and we'll come back to all that in a second. By the way, we'll be back on Wednesday, so send your notes to us, Eddie and Jimmy at 9.com.au, because we'll answer all your questions. That's your question and answer day. And Thursday, of course, we'll be back for a preview of the big weekend ahead, which is round one. It's hard to sort of keep up with all that, isn't it? Anyway, press the follow button wherever you get your podcast to get each episode as it comes out. Make sure you find us on YouTube and Instagram. Just search Eddie and Jimmy. And we've got some great prizes and great sponsors about to jump on. So next week we'll be ready to go with all that. Okay, Jimmy?
Yep.
All right, now let's get into the opening round. Okay, now the Sydney Swans are complaining. There you go. There's a headline.
Ed, don't start him again.
Nate. No, but they're disappointed with the AFL's lack of financial investment in the lead up to opening round. You know, this is a story you've brought to the table. Tell us what's going on.
Yeah, their disappointment is regarding the total amount of investment from dollars-wise, but how it was actually utilised. So it was mainly what I understand using digital assets to promote the game. And I think what they wanted was greater activation around the Moore Park precinct or even around Sydney. And I think the Giants would probably feel the same. Is hey, we're trying to engage. The whole point of opening round is to engage people in New South Wales, to get your eyeballs on footy early part of the year, because rugby league is already away.
Yeah.
And
that's the idea. We get that.
Yeah.
So, but Sydney are saying, if we're going to do that, that's great, but let's do it properly.
Correct. And I think that's the sentence you said.
So in other words, what they should be doing is putting
all in.
This all in on the same way that they do with Gather Round, and the same way that they sort of did with
during the finals,
State of Origin.
During the finals, when you're down at South Bank and there's a walk and there's activations.
Exactly. So if you want to do it properly.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go through where opening round has landed. Scott Pendlebury has agreed with me, which is very handy because we actually get on very well, me and Scotty. So
I'm surprised.
I'm very glad that he did that. But I'll give you, let me just in real terms. So the concept of opening round is to put the focus on the northern teams, okay? Now, I'm all for that, right? And you've heard me talk about weaponising the draw a million times on this show. So I'm going to keep going, because what happens usually, an idea that we put up here, 2 years later, they adopt it, okay? They finally get around to it. So let's have a look at opening round again. So for me, I'll go with this again. Opening round, off the back of the NRL, because they are looking at the NRL now. So Peter V'landys goes to Vegas. Good, bad or indifferent, Vegas, it pops for them. Okay, now, they went over there ostensibly to get onto American television and get betting big time out of the sports books in America, neither of which have worked. The unintended consequences of actually doing something, trying something, is that it has become a major tourism play for them into Las Vegas, and it has actually kicked up membership and their attendances and has sparked their season. It has given it a real punch to launch. Now, in the old days, rugby league had the 3 state of origins and probably the grand final, and the home and away didn't work. And in many ways, even for their TV rights going forward, the prevailing wind has always been that you can't break state of origin out because no one will really want to carry the home and away season because is it that big? Now it's getting bigger. So he is actually really thickening up his offering to the TV and the streaming services for his media rights, right? So well done to Peter V'landys, big tick. I like Peter V'landys. I think he does great things. At least he has a go.
Yep.
Okay, so for me, in sort of half-arsing opening round, and I agree with the Swans. Okay, I agree with them. You're either all in or you're all out in these situations, not half pregnant. Now, I've said in the past, I would like to see South Australian teams, so Port Adelaide versus Fremantle, in the Battle of the Wharfies, and they alternate each year. Adelaide versus West Coast, the traditional sides, they alternate each year, but that means there is an opening round at Optus Stadium, 60,000 people. There's an opening round at Adelaide Oval, whatever it holds, 50,000, 45,000, 50,000 people. I would play Brisbane versus Sydney in a state of origin, city of origin style of game, alternating each year, and GWS and Gold Coast. Now, what a game that would have been, alternating each year. Now, I would still aim at having the opening round idea, but I'd do it in June, right, where you have the split rounds and you focus up there, because guess what June is? That's the time of year you want to go to Queensland.
That's where Victorians and everyone down south escapes.
It's the time of year where there's another season in Australia. It's called cyclone season. Now, the AFL got out by that much, but if you have a look at the weather today, there's floods everywhere. It was humid. The games are good, so I'm not worried about that. But they got lucky. Last year it blew up the season, and really blew up the season. I mean, there was ramifications right into the finals last year because they didn't read the weather map, okay? Australia's a big place. I don't know if you've noticed, there is a bit of climate change as well, just to mitigate. So I'm all in for doing this. Now, the other part of that is if you do it properly and you do the draws properly, you can get Gold Coast, Brisbane, Sydney, GWS, and you can do the same into West Australia and South Australia, to stay in their beds for a 3-week period in the middle of the year to mitigate against their travel.
Yeah.
It works for everybody. But here's the other thing.
So just quickly.
Yeah. And I'll finish off. And all the Victorian teams play each other so that everyone who's been starved of football for 6 months can go and watch their team play in round one down the road.
And this is what I love. You start to create solutions for other issues. And instead of creating a really good idea, which, again, using the thing, tick, the AFL does have a history or a tendency of really great idea or concept. And this goes from everything to rules to fixturing to everything they do. But then they spend the whole time stripping it back.
Yeah, it is. Already we've gone into reverse on state of origin because a couple of clubs have arced up. I mean, the easy solution to that was don't have a reigning coach coaching a team.
Or a current coach, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Coach it, that. Don't have, I mean, look, all the people who were involved, Chris Scott did a sensational job for State of Origin, but it's caused too much trouble.
Dean Cox was great.
Mitchell, right? Sam Mitchell. He's the last bloke that 17 clubs want near any of their players, right? 'Cause he just goes up, and he's taking them out for dinner, and Lyndall, his wife's giving them scones and, baking cakes for him and everything else. So, no, don't go looking for trouble, okay? So there is a major kick-up, and particularly from Brisbane, about McCluggage, but others as well, that they were told they would get a certain amount of game time and they played a lot more. Okay, now it didn't affect Nick Dake, I should say, and I am of the position that I'd rather my good players play in a state of origin than be running around in some ground in the middle of nowhere where some spud stands on their foot and gets in the way, etc., etc. That part of it doesn't worry me, but you've got to go all in. Now, Gary Lyon, I thought was fantastic. Right, another great job. But on the night that the Channel 7 show that was on, the Thursday night, the big pre-match show, which, declaring an interest, GMTV produced. Gary wanted to do things, but Foxtel said no because it was on 7. And it eventually, everyone gives something and it's all that sort of stuff. But what I'm saying is that there is enough people around the place who are unencumbered who could come in. Now, Ted Whitten worked because he was basically free of the media. When he's calling on K-Rock, it didn't matter. Did a little bit on Channel 9 and bits and pieces, right? But it was Ted, Billy Goggin, who was great to have Billy back in. And you looked up, you saw Ron Barassi and Bobby Skilton. And you go, wow, What an A-grade team. And you had Knuckles Curley in South Australia, and Fatty Brown over there in Western Australia, big bad Mel Brown. And there were characters everywhere. It was great. I thought the guys who did it this year did a great job, but it caused more problems than it needed to. So going back to your point, come up with the idea, but then instead of imposing it, make it work. Now, I'll come back to the other thing, right? Now, this is why I thought, from a football point of view, a record crowd for St Kilda against Collingwood on Sunday night was great. But it actually took away from the idea of, what the whole thing was, that there were good crowds in Brisbane or good crowds in, in GWS land, and the Sydney Swans sold out the game. That all disappeared as soon as Collingwood hits town and St Kilda. So we go there, record crowd, great night. I loved it. It was wonderful. But I'll put to you this. Had that game been played on the Thursday night, what do you reckon would have been the paper the next day?
It would all be about the footy.
So this is the Monday after Collingwood in front of a record crowd in a 12-point win, St Kilda's big night, 66, 60 years after and all that. So that's the age, right? That's the front, that's the back. Spot the football. Can you find anything?
Yeah, and there's actually no mention of St Kilda Collingwood apart from that little snippet at the top corner.
Hang on, where is it? Oh, there. Hang on. There it is. There it is, right? It's a sold-out game at the MCG in Melbourne. Right? You go inside, there's nothing there. You go in there, right? They've got now, granted, they put these papers to bed pretty early, and there was online reporting, okay, but that's the Herald Sun, the Bible of football in this town. Okay, there it is. Where am I?
Yep, in the middle.
There it is. There. That's it. Now, they've got a photo of the Pies on the back, but inside, I'll turn it around. There's the inside. That should be all footy. And that's with Oscar Piastri not getting around the first lap, or the practice lap. My point is, and I agree with the Sydney Swans, you can market digitally as much as you like, but don't give up the free hits. You've got to position yourself. You know that I often say, people say to me that I sell fresh air, which is a derogative term to me, right? And I go, yeah, and if you're at the bottom of a swimming pool, you'll pay anything for it, okay? So don't go in and trample over one of the biggest international sports in the world. Coexist. On a Thursday night, you would have got you might have been able to organise for all the drivers to do a lap before the game around the MCG. Imagine what that would have looked like and brought in. And you reckon that wouldn't have got used on the coverage of Formula One to the world. Okay, so it's not all AFL giving. You actually work on these things. We've got the NFL coming to town, the biggest circus. Now, the AFL they've been hand-delivered this, right? Roger Goodall is coming to town in April. That is the sporting equivalent of a papal visit. And there's a great opportunity for the AFL to get in there. And the AFL are doing great things and they're working with them, but they should be now sitting down with him going, right, we want all your concussion. We want all your drug rules. We want everything that you're doing. What's your media strategy? Because their media strategy is so far ahead of anyone else in the world that it is not funny, okay? He's the only person in the world who stands up to Donald Trump. That's how strong these guys are and how good they are at getting money out of governments, private equity, all these monies to build the best facilities in the world. We're going to do that at the MCG. Guess where the NFL's playing? They're playing at the MCG. Well, you never know. Someone might have a bright idea to build a really great MCG. My point is, I like the ideas, but I'm a bit with you in that I think the execution is lacking.
Yeah. It feels like, all right, we can do it, but how can we save? Like, what can we peel off it? We do it with everything, and I'm not just using gather round. Even when we bring in a rule or we bring in some sort of, plan to put in place to help a club or to help a certain area of the game, we put it in, and there's always someone who bitches and moans. Yeah,
and then wind it back.
And then we've got to trim it and trim it and trim it.
We're going to talk in a minute about the tribunal. I mean, they brought in the rules, and if we end up back already on these things. But I'll go back and say, gather round, the big show that is the spectacular is done by GMTV on Channel 9. In State of Origin, it's done by GMTV on Channel 7. We don't have a grand final footy show anymore. The biggest show and showcase that we had that was given to free to the AFL, all they needed to do was loan us the cup for an hour, has gone. right? That was the biggest show on television. It was bigger budget than the Logies, right? So you let these things go, and people go, oh yeah, that's people get bored, or a new generation comes through, and you lose all these things. You lose the traditions, and then one day you turn around and it's gone.
Yep.
And it's like people who want to build on golf courses. Yeah, it's great. It's gone forever. Once it's gone, it's gone. You put the car park over Paradise, it's gone. You don't come back generally. So anyway, that's the negative to it. The positive to it was that all the games were pretty good.
Yeah, they were excellent. And the new rules we saw in place. I just got one question with the new rules. I'm not going to bore people because we'll be talking about them. The last touch. Before I out about it, it's called the lasso rule.
Yeah.
I was sitting there thinking, how did we get to the name lasso? And then, this is the way my brain works, Ed, as you've discovered. I tend to go off on tangents in my own brain. I genuinely thought at the Christmas party, there was someone on the dance floor doing Gangnam Style or something, and we're going like that.
Is that it? Right, okay.
But what we've lost in the game is, as a kid growing up, and you would have done the same, when you're in the backyard or in the schoolyard, ball, everyone's saying, yes.
Exactly.
But because the game's moving so quickly, I feel like the team who brought us AFLX might have actually got one right. We're going, how can we actually engage people? I think they're hopeful that people will stand up and go,
oh, we're going to do this one. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So because otherwise, what is a lasso or lassoing somebody or something?
I've missed this memo. I've missed the lasso.
So the last possession is called the lasso rule.
Oh, is that right?
Someone's told everyone in the briefings.
Right.
And the umpire runs over going, yeehaw, like this.
Right, okay. Yeah, good.
But,
right.
But because I was watching the footy on Friday night, and it dawned upon me, actually, how did we get here? Like, we've just sort of accepted it. Like, everyone, even us in commentary, because it's our fault, we're going, oh, that's the lasso rule.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I'm going, hang on. How did we get here? Like, it's fine.
Fair enough.
So it's either happened at the Christmas party or someone's gone.
But I look at some of the things like, what did we take the goal umpires out of the lab coats?
Well, why do you even need goal umpires anymore after?
Well, no, but let's keep them there for a moment.
Yeah.
But why did we take them into the lab coats?
Yeah.
It was so distinctive, and people used to laugh. Now, now the umpires, I don't think, or are they that thin-skinned that they? I know they want to look like athletes. That's why they look like the daggiest kid in the PE class. Instead of putting them in the long pants and putting them in position. Having said that, I thought the umpire was pretty good over the weekend. Anyway, they're just some of the things. So let's get into it. Everyone's had their say. Can I just say, I know there's a lot of shows, and I've got to do one tonight, and everyone wants whatever they are. We sacked Michael Voss. Now, I don't know, who'd you tip, Sydney or Carlton?
Sydney.
Yeah, Sydney were always going to win, and win well, at home. Carlton have got a list that they're building. I don't know if people realise they got rid of 3 of their best players to bring in young kids, and they're young kids. Like Jagger's going to be a beauty.
Harry Dean.
I liked, I think it was actually, it might have been Kane Corns who picked him up last night, who said he bounces the ball after 2 steps.
Yeah, he's an early bouncer.
He's got to get that out of his game. You get killed. Since you look up, and the freight train comes on you pretty quickly. But they're little coaching things that and that's what happens when you're a gun junior player and you come in. He normally takes a bounce and then he runs 20 and kicks it. But look, I just thought it was a bit out of control. There's a lot of talk about, and I'll put to you about Carlton speaking to Craig McRae, Fly. Now, if I'm Graham Wright, I'm the new CEO of Carlton, and I don't speak to Craig McRae, then I should be sacked before I even start. Right? 1, he's got all the intel because he did his contract in the first place. 2, McRae was coming up to negotiation period. Okay. 3, he knows what he's on. 4, I think they've played it well. I mean, I heard all this carry on last night, and I think sometimes, Kane can look for very cut and dried decisions in what is a fluid way of doing business. I think what Graham Wright has done has been perfect. He sounded him out, saw if there was anything happening. He knows he's got Vossi for a year. They weren't going to extend Vossi any further than that year. They know it's a development year. They say to him, right, mate, let's work through this and work together. And at the end of it, we'll make a decision at the end of the year, how we're going. Now, Carlton supporters got to get it through their heads. They're not winning the flag this year, and they're probably not making the finals. But they've got to get enough improvement coming through for them to build what they have to, and they've got to stop saying it's 20 years or whatever it is since they, when was the last time Carlton did anything? No,
95.
95. All right. So, but they've got to. That's not Graham Wright's. Graham Wright's been there for 6 months, so that's where he's getting. And they've had a lot of drama at that club, and a lot of angst, and they have a lot of people saying a lot of things from over the fence and being. I think Gerard Whateley used the term vandals, and when he said that, I straight away thought of the graffiti as well. That was pure vandalism last year. That does you no good. I mean, take it from a Collingwood supporter. We sit there pissing ourselves laughing at Carlton and Essendon and all the carry-on that they're going on because they're still thinking of the old days. I mean, Carlton are still blaming the salary cap.
The breaches of the salary cap.
Yeah, they're still blaming that for mucking. I mean, Goddard's 48 now, isn't he? I mean, it's but every team mucks up their draft. Just take it as that. I did hear a good one over the weekend, though, and that came to me, and it was this. That since Carlton have taken John Elliott's name off the stand, the Elliott curse.
The curse of the Elliott.
The curse of the Elliott.
It's like the curse of the Bambino.
Exactly. So there is some suggestion that Carlton should maybe put Big Jack's name back up.
That'd be a nice photo up with Tom Elliott in his Hawaiian shirt that he loves to get around.
It would be.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's it. So anyway, the point there is, it says here, is it the same old Blues? No, it's a new developing Carlton side. They've got rid of 3 gun players, one up one end, one down the other, and one in the midfield. That'll take its toll. And they're trying to build a team that can actually have some success. Will Voss be there next year? Probably less likely than likely, but he should get a run at it. And should Graham Wright be talking to everybody who's around? My word, he should be.
Well, let's keep that chat going, Ed, because we're going to discuss.
Just put this there. What if McRae said,
I'll do it.
I'm not happy with certain people at the club, or, I've done all I can do at Collingwood, I'll move on. Let's have a chat. But don't forget, they are very close.
Yeah, they're great mates.
They're great mates.
They would have played
I'm talking about Righty and Fly.
Oh, yeah.
So they're good mates.
But also McRae and Voss are great mates.
Are great mates as well. Yeah.
It would have been
incredibly... I mean, what would have been, if it all worked together, if McRae came over as the senior coach and Voss stayed as the specialist coach. I think whatever happens to Voss at the end of the year, I'd go get him in a heartbeat. He was fantastic in Port Adelaide. And, maybe that's his position. I hope he stays at Carlton. I hope they have a good year because we want Carlton. Carlton's good for business. We need to get him up.
Well, let's keep the Carlton chat going because the other big talking point is Sam Docherty's not leaked, but he said it.
Can I joke back? It says the ball was a bar of soap in the first half.
It was.
Okay, so I think I'm up to year 10 on the ball. Okay. The girls tell me they can't kick it now. It's so hard. And we had a concussion in a practice match. It was so hard. Somebody copped one in the mush that used to get in the under-11s and rub your face and play on. Now it's knocking people out. The balls are too hard. And guess what? It's humid in Sydney this time of year, and we get cyclones up in the northern states this time of year. Come on, guys. Read the room. Go.
Well, Sam Docherty still is the talking point.
Carlton kicked him out of the dinner this week.
Yeah, so I'll quick do an overview. Sam Docherty, great mates with Dan Gorringe. He's doing fantastic things on social media. Sent him a voice memo. Dan played it on his podcast. The doc didn't realise, and it was expletive-laden because he thought he was just talking to a mate.
No, he was talking to a recorded device.
No, well, it's a voice message. So if you and I are exchanging messages, and if I can't be bothered typing, I just hit that. No, Ed, this, and that, and bang.
Yeah, that would be a voice recording.
Yeah, I know, but it wasn't almost like, I'm going to send you audio.
It was a pretty long and in-depth piece, to be said.
Well, the reason was I worked the game with him on 3AW, and
he said the same thing.
Exact same thing. But the other thing that's going unnoticed, and I'm not standing up for Doc, he was incredibly glowing of Carlton in the first half because they were trying to play a bit more possession footy, don't just bang it on the boot. But what his frustration was like a lot of Carlton fans, the third quarter felt like, oh no, we're not going back to this again. And his frustrations, he vented.
But mate, it's just, you know what I thought was good about it? Well, let's get to the point where we're actually telling the truth. I mean, it does my head in, and I heard people stammering over their words last night on some of the shows. just say it as it is, okay? Because I don't know about you, but I go to games every week and there's 80,000 people who are all watching the same thing happen in front. They know what's going on. Pretending it's not happening doesn't mean it's not happening. So what he said, Docherty, was exactly what everyone saw and was thinking. I think you've added a little bit to it that say that he was supportive of the club. At the same time, inside a club under siege, I like what Carlton's done. You've got to sometimes say, I don't care if it's a favoured son or not. Hey, we looked after you. We stood by you. We carried you through.
Does that make it a bigger issue?
Doesn't matter. Make it whatever the issue is.
Okay.
I'd make it a big issue. Right, they're coming for us. We've got to win the next 3. Right, they're already starting. They're starting even within, and they're starting in our stands. That would be the message. If I was president, well, I've done these things.
Yeah,
you go down, you walk around, and you look at blokes, and you go, do you know how important this game is? Okay? We got into the season, it was all kumbaya, and we did the practice matches. Do you know what's coming? They're coming for us. They're coming for him. They're coming for our sponsors. They're coming for our tenancies. They're coming for our manhood. They're coming for everything we stand for. This week, right? Have you got it? All right? I don't want to come in 3 weeks' time and go, I didn't realise how important this game was. Geez, I didn't realise they're going to sack Vossi if we lost the next 3. Everyone needs to know. And by the way, you're either with us or you're against us. And I don't care if you're the former captain or you used to be the president or whatever. If you stand against us right now, get out. We're not feeding you. Go up with your media mates and make your living up there. No problem whatsoever. We love you, but you're in the naughty corner for a while. That's how I'd be doing it.
I feel like you might have done that before.
I only had to do it once.
Really?
Yeah, well, people learn.
I do.
Yeah.
But I think this is...
But you've got to get this. There's too much kumbaya in football these days. I mean, I'll give you an example. I mean, this nonsense of paying players for a year when they're out of the game with personal issues, whatever it is, okay? Now, you know that I'm red hot on testing players. Mm-hmm. If you've got personal issues, mate, football clubs are the best place on earth to be. If you've got drug issues, they are also a really good place to be. But let's not mix the two up. And if you're deliberately sabotaging your club, why am I paying full freight knowing that you'll never come back? I mean, there was all different interviews over the weekends of players that's, watching Clary and he has half a chip at Melbourne. Mate, you were the problem at Melbourne. Don't blame Melbourne. Melbourne had their own problems. I mean, they blew up. They did the usual. A lot of clubs, when they win a big premiership after a long time, Dogs did the same thing. Collingwood did it in 1990. It's too big. That's why Geelong and Hawthorn, you celebrate in the phone box for a weekend and then back to business as usual. These things, it goes bigger and people lose their minds. Jake Stringer was at chipping Essendon about Laverde. You had Clary having a crack at Melbourne also. And you go, hey, guys, don't get ahead of yourself. Round 1. As we know in these situations, the spots only get bigger or smaller. They don't disappear. Okay, so I want to see a body of work. But, mate, I can tell you now the football public are jack of blokes getting paid to not play.
It's pretty fair, Ed.
There's only one thing you've got to do when you sign that contract, put yourself in the best possible condition to fulfil that contract. You do things that mitigate against that, that's your problem. Kyle and Jackie O can't turn up to work, they lose their contract.
It's a pretty big contract they got too.
Yeah, I think my mailers are coming back together again.
I would not be shocked.
No, I think in the end, in the cool, hard light of day, they might have actually worked out that there's a loss for everybody in this. Anyway, let's see what happens there.
Ooh,
but do you know what I'm saying with that?
Yeah, but you've started to touch on the next point that got brought out of this Sam Docherty comments thing, which it's a mountain out of a molehill. I think we all agree. But,
But Gorringe just jumped all over it and he's whacked Gerard Waitley.
Well, this is what I ask. The old media heads versus the new media and what is legacy media versus, young media, whatever way you want to frame it. That's what he's going after now. Like, why are you having a whack at me and why are you having a whack at Doc? You can all shut up.
But every generation thinks they've invented music, comedy, and sex. Okay, I don't think it's ever happened before.
Fashion's probably another one.
Fashion. Well, that comes back around anyway. But and it's the same with this. This is look. You know what Gorringe is doing. He's throwing the big brick into the water. He's doing really well. He's
smashing it.
He's going so fantastic. There's room for everybody, But that's no different to Caroline Wilson giving it to me at times, or me whacking them back. I mean, media's a contact sport. I don't know why everyone, again, I know there's been a consolidation, and there's a situation now where, if you're not working, every journo now works for the AFL. I mean, they came after me for conflict of interest. Give me a spell, please. That is the greatest conflict. We've got everybody working here, and we'll give them a job there, and we'll do that. And it's hilarious. So that he's just, it's free publicity.
He's playing his role beautifully.
He's playing his role beautifully. And he is no different to what Kane Corns is on 7 and SEN. He's an agent provocateur. He has to come out with an opinion. He has to do something different every week. Otherwise, he's not around. No. It's no different to Kyle and Jackie O. Their job is to outrage. Okay? So as I always say, don't put the saucer of milk in front of the cat and then kick the cat if it licks the milk. Okay? If that's what you actually want, that's where managers come into play to say when you're going too far. And inevitably, the bloke who, the modern inventor of all this was Sam Newman.
He was, actually, when you put it in that.
No, Sam was the one who started this. And that's why the footy show was so big. I mean, my job was to break stories, have the inside from the AFL, and grab him under the table by the leg.
Or to be the bumper bars.
But I'd be literally, my hand used to be on his leg. Enough. We had an agreement that if he had one last good gag or good, he could go again. But that was it. Stop there, and I'd move on. Now later on, it became more of a throw petrol on the fire rather than douse the fire. Not with me when the other guys got on with him, and that the show changed direction, as it does, because it's a different host. That's not good, bad, or indifferent. It went for 25 years, that show, and it's still missed to this day. And by the way, Sam,
his health, I saw that
okay.
in the paper.
Yeah, I spoke to him yesterday. He's okay, but he wasn't. Sue Stanley jumped in pretty quickly. So if you are feeling a bit dizzy or anything else, go to the doctor.
Yep,
he was lucky. For all the carry-on we have around this place, he was in Melbourne, Australia, and the ambulance came, and he went to a public hospital, the Alfred Hospital, and he got the best care that you could possibly get in the world, and 1 week later he's back out.
Yep.
Unbelievable. Anyway, let's wrap up Gorringe, Daniel Gorringe. He's doing his gig. He got the good mail. It was too good to not run.
Don't change Sam Docherty.
Doc, keep going.
Probably can't drop F-bombs on 3AW, but
that's all right. But I mean, he
didn't.
That's the vernacular these days on those type of shows. The old thing. If you don't want to have it on the front page of the paper, don't leave a voice recording or send it in writing, because that'll come out, and that's about it.
Well, what was the saying?
And everyone else, calm down. Relax.
Well, someone told me.
Jared, I mean, can I just say, Jared was just as outraged as Gorringe was as outraged.
Yeah.
He just came from a more traditional position.
What did someone tell me? If you don't want to offend anyone, don't do anything, don't say anything, don't be anything.
No, then you, when you say something, then you were forced to, or you broke your silence. You broke your silence. So you can't win or you can't lose. I mean, it's funny, It's just play on.
You broke your silence, or you opened up.
Here's the other thing. The mob aren't stupid. They get it better than anyone.
Correct.
So you can convince yourself as much as you like. People turn up every week. They get it. Anyway.
The way too early snap judgment, Ed.
Yes?
Is this the year that Geelong finally fall off the perch? Is this the year?
Oh, well. I mean,
it's only 2 times in the last 20.
Well, a few questions been asked down at Geelong. Why aren't there?
Yeah, so I'm talking about the football.
Oh, okay.
I know exactly what you're alluding to.
Yeah. Oh, well. Yeah. Well, but it's... Oh, look, I mean, it's round 1. I mean, the question I put, and we're going to have a look at it tonight on Footy Classified, is Geelong's last 6 quarters of football have been atrocious.
Yep.
And it's the back half of a grand final and a big round 1, but it's early days. Now, there's 30 weeks of football these days. It is now a marathon. Now, you've got to run faster than anyone to win a marathon as well as a sprint, but you've got to pace yourself. And last year, Collingwood probably had that late. They tried to manage it late and were unlucky in the end. Cats got to the grand final. I have a big theory in finals that teams hit the wall and that's it. And they do it. It can happen in the second quarter of a elimination final, and that's why we put the week gap in. Is the teams were just gassed. It's why now we've got a final 6, not a final 10. Everyone's talking about, we're going to have every team's going to get a go. Now the 10, 9, 8, 7, they're not going to win the flag, but no chance.
Yeah, and the thing with grand final smackings,
Yeah,
there is a point like
in the grand final when it's done.
Yeah, where it's the players. It's going from potentially the greatest day of their life to I'm talking sporting wise, to the worst sporting day of their life.
Lives as well.
As like I just want to get out of here.
Yeah.
Like there's 100,000 people. This is the last place in the world I want to be. Just get me out of here. So you're not really. Players aren't really running to the next contest. They're not fighting tooth now because once you're 6 or 7 goals down, there's 10 minutes to go. So that's when they start to pile on.
Exactly.
And the opposition's doing the other thing. You get this rush of adrenaline. I'm about to win a premiership. Like, let's go fill the boots. And I've got all this energy to push on to the next one, and another goal goes through. Yeah. So we go from that 24 points to 40 plus pretty quickly.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. So no, the Cats are still a good side.
Well, they've still got 10 home games.
Well, let's quickly go through. So Sydney and Carlton, big tick for Sydney. Their first half wasn't great, but they got themselves going. I loved a lot of the way the new style of play. Smart players who can kick the ball to space to advantage or handball to advantage to space to run on are going to be worth their weight in gold, and we'll get to Ed Richards in a moment. Gold Coast, tick. Geelong, they've got a bit of work to do.
Tanner Bruin was the big tick for Geelong.
Yeah, but I think the Cats will come back because I think Gold Coast will go up.
Yeah, some other sides have gotten better around them.
GWS and Hawthorn. GWS, big tick. Hawthorn, a bit of a reality check there.
Just the issue which I identified with Hawthorn is just learning to generate. I don't want to get too footy, but generating the tempo back in the game. So, everyone called it Hollywood Hawks.
Yeah.
So what sides are doing is they're taking the pace out of the game.
Yeah.
And so it's just another learning curve.
And the other thing is, though, the Hollywood Hawks when no one knew who they were. Right? As soon as you became the star and your name goes up on the marquee, you get a lot more attention. Right? Being the great unknown is one of the best spots to be. Sometimes being the star, it makes life a bit harder. And Hawthorn now have got a lot of stars and they've got a lot of targets on them. Brisbane and the Bulldogs, I think that's a double tick for both there.
What a game.
They were both unbelievable, weren't they?
What a game. The Dogs, 26 points down, and you thought, well, even when Cam Rayner kicked that snap around the corner and the Gabatoir was like lifting, you thought, all right, that's Brisbane wins. But how gritty was that win from the Bulldogs? And the other thing, Luke Beveridge cops a lot of criticism, of course, the way he moves the magnets. Yeah. But he's willing to try.
Yeah.
And he's willing to cop the criticism, but some good things can come. So how many times in the Bulldogs' history in the last 10 years where the opposition kicks a goal and things like that, and he goes, no, Bontempelli still stays forward. Yeah. It'd be normally, hey, you come back here because you're one of the best players we've seen this generation. But no, I'm going to trust Ed Richards and Bailey Williams out on the wing and the guy we brought in from Gold Coast, Buderick, who was fantastic. No, that's what we're going to do. And they stuck fat to the plan, and it was really impressive.
They were great. They were really good. And it was a great game of footy. Beautiful game of footy. Open, tough. Can I highlight something? Because you're the first one to table it. And then I worked with him on Footy Furnace, and I asked him the question. Derm. Yes.
He went really early Sunday morning before the MRO came out, and he said, Zach Bailey's got to get multiple weeks.
Yep.
Darcy Gardner has to get suspended. And he goes, I can see some leniency for Harris Andrews, but he probably will get suspended because you've clocked Artie Jones. But I can understand that one. He nailed it. Bailey got suspended.
Yep. Should have got more.
Gardner got suspended, which they're appealing.
But I still think he should get one.
And Harris Andrews got suspended, and they're appealing just to get it downgraded. Both Gardner and Harris Andrews downgraded. I asked Derm, I go, you want a job on the MRO?
Yeah.
He goes, I'll do it.
Yeah. He's perfect. Because Derm knows. Harris Andrew gave the little sneaky and threw his arm out. Now, it doesn't matter whether it was an accident or not. You're allowed. Artie Jones is allowed to go for the ball without getting his head knocked off. That's the whole idea. Whether you turn around and go whack or you do it, that didn't make any difference to Artie Jones. He's off the ground. Right? He knew what he was doing. Now he threw his arm out. Now I think Harris Andrews is a wonderful player and plays the game in the right spirit. So he was obviously trying to deflect, but he's reckless. He deliberate and recklessly threw his arm back to make contact with the player, and he knocked his block off. You get 3 for that. That's 3 all day. What's his name? Who ran in and hit Norton? Who was it again? The other one?
Gardner.
Gardner. Well, he knew what he was doing.
Oh yeah, he got so lucky.
Yeah.
Because it was up like that, and it was towards the
Yeah,
post.
well, that's dangerous, and so you get, what did he get to?
One.
One was lucky he didn't get 2, so they've copped that, haven't they? Oh no, they're appealing.
No, they're appealing it to get
they're
Dan
appealing
Gorringe.
that one. Well, he should be lucky he's got 1, and they should.
Bailey, they're accepting.
Bailey, because he should have got 2 for a deliberate elbow, mate. A deliberate elbow. Just let me say those words again. A deliberate elbow. That's what we want out of the game, because you hit a bloke with the elbow. That's worse than getting kicked in the head, an elbow to the head. Anyone who's done any martial arts, and you're an old jiu-jitsu boy, you get your elbows in there, whack, whack, whack.
They're one of the best weapons you can have.
That's the best, and lethal. And I was speaking of lethal, he was the best at it. He knew how to use his elbows beautifully.
I don't want to bang on about the MRO, and we've been incredibly supportive of Michael Christian because he's got a difficult task. The problem we've got, and I'll keep saying it and keep saying it, when the DJ plays the record, we've got to get that one away.
It takes 3 years with the AFL to get the song.
The problem we've got is we've got a black and white system that we're interjecting opinion and the subjective nature. Yeah. So you either do that and you sit down and it's Chris Owen Durham and they go that, and that, or you stay real black and white, because the problem you're going to get, and the instruction to Michael Christian, and it's not him, is we've got to treat concussion seriously, of course.
Dick.
And the ability or the decision to elevate. Now, what's going to happen is as soon as you do it, the lawyers who are now buying Lambos quicker than the CFMU who are buying Rangers are going to have a field day this year.
Yeah, exactly.
So I made the statement for Footy Classified. We're going to have a world record amount of tribunal appearances. And it's not against Michael Christian, but he's under the instruction to elevate these incidents because they are dangerous. Yeah. But then if you get a lawyer's framework and they go, that's medium or high impact, they go, no, it's not.
And the football department's job is to win every week. Yeah. So they're going, we can't have Harris Andrew out for 3 weeks, get him back for 2.
Yeah, so using the Darcy Gardner one, it's medium because we'll elevate it. But as the lawyer goes, well, that's not medium. So we're going to spend all this money.
But there's also
to unpick what.
But it's the common sense. Why I've been pushing Dermott to go in this position is Dermott is the best at knowing when something's an accident, when it's not, right? Because he did it every week. He disguised it all the time. Harris Andrew, he checked what was going on, threw his arm back. It was obvious. On the ground, he's been rolled into the ground. He's gone, bang, I've got one here. There's his head, whack, as Dermott said, quote unquote. And he hit him with an elbow. Game had stopped, so it's off. It's behind play. Once the ball stopped, it's the equivalent of. And all the elements of, you get 2 weeks. Now, Berry's a great player, so, I mean, I don't want to see him getting rubbed out. I like this, he's got 1, but he should have got 2. But now here we go for another 35 weeks of, what about when that happened? What about when that happened? And there was one the other night, I keep forgetting which one it was, or whether it was even in the practice match the week before, where somebody just blocked right off the ball and didn't get reported. It was the most blatant hit off a ball I've seen for ages, and nothing happened. So you go, all right, what does that mean?
Just to wrap up my point, we're going to have tribunal hearings every week and multiple ones, and it's not a crack at Michael Christian. It's quite the opposite. No. But you've got a black and white system that's interjected opinion. Yeah. But then it goes to the tribunal, and we know what lawyers do. They deal in the black and white. Yeah. So it's like the old, it was only a joke until you get into the courtroom, and then the joke loses all context.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I haven't been able to do a contract with Channel 9 for 25 years because if we come to an agreement, it's pretty easy. Right? I'll turn up, I'll do whatever you want me to do, and you pay me that, put that in every Thursday, and then it goes to the lawyers, and they start going out on all these wacky things that are never going to happen that we'll work out as we go. Blah, 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 and you just throw it out. As soon as the lawyers go in.
If you're a law firm or studying law, they'll build a wing for tribunals.
Sports law. St Kilda, Collingwood, I think both teams take something out of this.
Yes.
For all the carry on about St Kilda, they lost by 2 goals.
Yeah.
And had their chances.
They had plenty of chances.
And I thought...
I think they'd walk away and go, hey, we missed an opportunity to win. But also Collingwood would walk away and go, geez, we executed the game plan well.
Oh, and I love the last 10 minutes when they killed the game off.
Yeah.
did it beautifully. I mean, that was really good professional football with a side that was pretty young. I know the older end, there's a lot of young guys running around that Collingwood team as well.
Yeah, Rowan Steele.
Yeah.
How good was that handball from
Ned.
Geelong?
Excuse me.
That was the old sweeping handball.
Nothing to sneeze at, that's for sure.
When footballs look like balloons. It looked like
boom, wasn't it? Ripper, though. Imagine seeing that one coming through the air, looking up, knowing there's no one in front for your first goal.
As it's coming in.
Always going, just don't drop it.
Don't drop it, I've got a goal.
Don't drop this slippery football. And all as well. And I thought the Saints, there was enough to like there.
Yeah.
Remember, a lot of those guys had never played together either.
Yep, they just missed some opportunities.
Yep.
And then, of course, Darcy Cameron just standing.
Last week, you put on the agenda, we need nicknames. Back.
Yeah, I've been around you too long now. The marketing side of me and the ability to sell to kids.
And a bit of fun.
Yes, fun.
Bit of fun. Sadly, though, these days, generally a nickname is taken on something like, if you've got red hair, you're called Bluey, or if they call you Titch if you're 6'7" and
Tiny for the big fella.
Tiny, exactly, all that sort of stuff. And if you've been eating a few too many pies, you get something, But
Mud guts.
These days, exactly. These days, you're in a lot of shame or anything.
Or if you
else.
wear the number 11, you get called brackets.
Yeah, it's all. But I do laugh at that we've come down so hard on making everybody feel good, but everyone feels so much worse than they used to.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But it can be fun, and it becomes.
So let's find a couple.
Well, players are brands, and I know that sounds cheesy, but they are. They're social media, and brands connect themselves, and they sell the nickname as well. And I was just looking at.
Derm 61, he's still called the Kid.
Yeah. It's good. And can you imagine all the clothing stuff and whenever he promotes the Kid, and you just know, that's
I nicknamed Matthew Lloyd the Velvet Sledgehammer because he was seen as this nice guy. He was starting to clean a few people up on the footy show. I remember we presented him he was actually presented with the Velvet Sledgehammer the day when Croft pulled Sam's pants down. And now he's got a segment called the Sledgehammer.
Yeah, exactly. And when you say the Velvet Sledgehammer, Matthew Lloyd.
Exactly. Horse Longmire. Best nickname you could ever have.
Yes. Yep, it helps you on the pro circuit.
What's with the long face? Is that what it was about?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that was it, yeah. Okay, so we have got some...
I actually had a lot of feedback on my social media, of course, and I love this from Collingwood fans.
I didn't because I don't have it.
Yeah, it's sometimes it can be a dark place.
Yes.
But I love Collingwood fans going, there's only one raging bull, as you touched on.
Yes, Darren Mullane.
Yeah. So some of them that have come up.
Dre suggested Pat the Raging Bull Voss.
Yeah. Well, he's the prancing pony.
He's the prancing pony. Yeah, he's
Freo got a couple of the big kahuna, Gracie.
That's good. No Raging Bull. He's the prancing pony.
He's the prancing pony.
That's it, PP.
So whatever boot brand he's with or clothing
Remember,
brand.
there used to be a brand called Pony. Remember them? Larry Holmes used to wear them in his boxing shoes.
No,
it was Pony International.
Yeah.
They had two stripes down the side and up like that. Look it up. There you go.
There you
go. Someone's Richard's gone straight to it.
But
they were a big sporting brand for a while. They're Pony.
But then, of course, we've got the Wizard Watson and Hawthorn do great things around that. And the Saints have jumped on Alex the Flying Viking. Again, that's another one that Cal Toomey coined of him coming through the draft.
Yeah.
The Flying Viking.
Well, you cop that, wouldn't you? Yeah, so I like that.
Naz, the Messiah.
Yeah, you always got to be a little bit careful on the religious connotations and things. Remember, I mean, Gary Ablett didn't like being called God.
And the other, it can go both ways. Because remember Glenn Maxwell in cricket, the big show.
Yeah.
It didn't impact positively for a while until he then just absolutely smashed us to a World Cup win.
Exactly. And, let's let the kid get a kick. He's going to get a little bit more attention this year.
I do like the Viking, though.
The Viking I like, yeah. Pete suggests Jared at Vinesberry. Yeah, that's right, Vines.
Do you know why he's saying...
What's that?
Vines. The silly little man.
Here.
Yeah.
He put brackets, berries grow on vines.
Yeah.
Thank you, Captain Obvious.
Yeah. He's off to launch some rockets after this.
That's it, yeah. he's writing comedy for... I was going to whack a few there, but I don't need to pick any fights this early in the season. The Bombers draftee Sullivan Roby. He could be Roby... One Kenobi.
Yeah, but Andrew, the problem is...
Yeah. You're not going to get that out.
No, but Fremantle, as Basil Zemplis would say, they drafted an NGA prospect, and you would not believe this, Toby One.
Oh, well, that's him, Kenobi.
Toby One Kenobi.
Yeah.
So Unless Toby gets a debut. Or
Whoever
rugby's
gets
not
it
bad.
first. Oh, I like it, though. Scott suggests curtains for Sam Draper.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm not sure I'd like to be called curtains.
No. Well, it should be curtains for the opposition when he comes on.
Yeah.
That's the way you'd have to frame
it's curtains.
that. Dan, the problem, Houston.
That's
I
a
like
good one.
that.
That's very
See,
NBA
that's it.
stuff.
See, I can announce that as he comes into the ring.
Here comes the problem.
Here he comes. Dan, the problem, Houston.
See, boxing does it well, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it does, yeah.
Yeah.
Houston, we have a problem is the... Which I think actually was actually said. I think there was a bit more of a Apollo 13 movie thing, but...
I think it would have been more along the lines of Sam Docherty's voicemail. Holy. What's going on?
That's, of course, if they were there.
Yeah.
They were in the next studio, apparently. Byron suggests Cooper Tremors Trimbeth.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bit like,
Smithy.
Smithy. Exactly, yeah. I like this one, though. Callum the Sneeze Archie.
Yes. That's very good.
The Sneeze. He's all over you.
No, but we got good buy in there. I was just looking that you get the kids engaged with new cool things, but then you sell it on brands, marketing.
Yep.
It's,
Bartel Medal. Let's go. Because, hey, Jamal's back.
hey, Jamal.
Hey, Jamal. Welcome back, Jamal, from the States. Whereabouts in the States is Jamal? Colorado. Good on you, mate. They got no snow there this year. The East Coast was absolutely hit by the biggest snowstorms ever, yet in Colorado, no snow.
Also legalised marijuana, so we'll know whether Jamal's been for a walk down the street or not. with
Okay,
some of his
well,
votes.
this is his votes. He's given 1, Christian Petrarca,
Pretty easy.
2, Josh Dacos, 3, Nick Dacos.
Can I just highlight something from that game? So Harry Perryman, magnificent game on the Messiah,
Yep.
of course, Wanganeen Malera. The coach highlighted his game. Nick Dacos, after he's had 4,500 possessions, highlights Harry Perryman as the best on ground. Not a vote from the coaches.
No,
In the coaches' word.
no. And similarly, if that was the case and Nick doesn't win the Copeland Trophy next year because he got done because Perryman got the major votes in round 1, do you think they'll be saying at that stage, yeah, he should have got the votes? Well, I know what he was saying. Don't just look at me, my 41. It's a team effort, and that's why Nick is such a good young bloke. But
Surely.
Perryman did very, very well.
Well, he got in my votes.
Yep.
But the one vote, I thought Darcy Cameron was magnificent when the Saints were...
Shall we answer this, Dermot Brereton? Hang on. Here we
Is he on the tribunal?
Derm, we're just doing our podcast and we're just talking about you. and just so that I'm not Dan Gorringe, you're on air.
Well, I was only going to ask, how do I get into the car park?
All right, ring Carolyn, okay? Hang on. All right, I'll send the message to you, okay?
Okay, buddy.
All right,
thank
mate.
you.
Here we go.
Darcy Cameron gets a vote.
Yep.
I thought he was magnificent. Will Powell, a bit of an unsung hero there for the Suns. Connor Budrick, the new recruit, the Dogs. Bailey Williams was great off the wing. And I've heard him be coined as part-time Pendles.
Yes.
5 goal assists in half a game of footy. He was dominant.
I think he was unbelievable.
In a game that had lots of possessions, the goalies 20
Yeah.
was impactful. Errol Gordon sliced the Blues apart.
It was great, Gordon.
Steve Cornelio. I was
Yep.
very, very happy for Steve Cornelio because his body has let him down in the last couple of years, but he was
Played
that
well in the
was
state game too, which was good. So
Yeah, I reckon that might have given him a fair bit of confidence.
yeah, I actually spoke to him after that. He's a really good. I like
He's a
Steve
ripping
Cornelio,
fella.
a ripping guy, and you could tell he felt like he sort of belonged again in the top echelon because
Yeah.
he performed well in that state game, which is another thing
Reason.
to look at, not just all the negatives that all these bedwetters around the place in the AFL are running around about the State of Origin game.
The Bear, Bailey Humphrey,
Yep.
Clary Oliver, Charlie Cameron, 4 goals, and
Bont?
Bont. Now, our 3 votes.
Yep,
Your boy Nick Dacos had it 40 million times.
yep.
Harry Perryman, I did acknowledge his game. McInerney from the Swans was amazing, 30 plus and 3 goals. Petrarca, I don't think I've seen him kick the ball as well as
Yep.
he did the other night. Ed Richards, what a player he is. I'm a big fan of Ed Richards. And Jake Stringer had his usual game where, 10 shots at goal, and when they needed a forward to stand up, he was magnificent.
As Sander McGuire said in one of his reports, there is no better weapon in football than Jake
Contract.
Stringer in a contract year.
He was electric. 5 goals, 4. Wow.
Good stuff. All right, follow us. That's Eddie and Jimmy, wherever you get your podcasts, and join us on Wednesday and Thursday as we go through what you want to talk to us about. So send us at eddieandjimmy.com.au your questions, and then on Thursday we'll preview what is round 1 of the AFL season. Hope you've enjoyed it. This has been Eddie and Jimmy.